Welcome back. Inside Training Camp Live, presented by State Farm here at 49ers Camp in Santa Clara. Rhett Lewis, James Jones, and now our pleasure to be joined by the 49ers GM, John Lynch. John, welcome.
Thank you. Beautiful day here.
Oh, my gosh. You guys set us up.
This is too nice.
It is. Let's turn it up a little. Turn the heat up a little bit, right?
Exactly.
Hey, you guys turned it up yesterday. I was out here at practice, and I came out here. You know, obviously I wanted to see Nick Bosa, right? Your number 2 overall pick this year, but I didn't want to watch him. I wanted to see if he jumped out at me, right? Well, in the last period, he jumped out, right? Then that move the ball drill, I saw him come around the left side and beat Mike McGlinchey for what would have been a sack, probably. And then next drive, come over and have a little inside move on Joe Staley to end practice with a sack. I mean, I guess that's the kind of impact you were bargaining for when you took him number 2.
I think impact's the right word, and he's been consistently doing that since he's been here, and it just keeps getting better. So that's encouraging. He's a really good football player, and he's polished. A lot of guys, you even if you pick him at 2, there's a getting used to period. But he's such a polished football player. He's given them fits already, and it's fun to see a guy like Joe Staley really take to him. And they've been working together. Joe's learning from him. He's learning from Joe McGlinchey. It's making everybody better.
Comparing notes right after that, which I thought was pretty
definitely.
cool.
Now, will you guys move him around? Will we see him kind of, inside a little bit, or will we see him strictly outside, hand down in the dirt, go get the pass?
Well, he can do that too, and I think that's what what's fun. We've got some pieces we can move around. DeForest Buckner at times played some defensive end last year. He can do that. Armstead's a guy that can go in and out. Solomon Thomas can do that. D Ford, we'll keep him on the edge. He's really good there, right? And but it is fun. We have some interchangeable parts. We got a lot of resources in that defensive front, and they have to be a force to be reckoned with each week in, week out. We expect them to be that.
So I imagine that they are among the most competitive position groups you've seen out here. But in terms of roster building, and as you've got that 53-man roster on your mind as you're out here at practice every day, I assume, like, which group's going to give you the toughest decision?
I think we got some great depth at wide receiver, defensive back. A lot of people talking about what we don't have at defensive back. I think we got a lot of players competing at a high level. So, that's fun this year. For Kyle and I and everybody on this staff, is that we're going to have some tougher decisions to make. That's the way it should be. I think in terms of top level, high end players, we're a lot better, a lot more of them. We also have, I believe, greater depth than we have than any period in our time here, and we should. We've been growing and acquiring the type of players we think lead to success, and that's something we look forward to.
Speaking of defensive back, you play defensive back, but we got a defensive back going into the Hall of Fame in Ed Reed.
Yeah.
I want to know where he kind of ranks and what you thought of him when he was playing in his playing days.
Just a tremendous football player. I mean, he's up there when you talk about safeties, the greatest ever. There's a guy who played here, Ronnie Lott, that
pretty good
in my opinion, my humble opinion, holds that title. But Ed's right there. Was such a weapon in terms of a player, such a smart player, and then he got the ball in his hands. Good night. I mean, he was scoring. People forget he was a tremendous punt blocker. He just affected the game every time he was on the field. Loved being in Pro Bowls with Ed and comparing notes. A very cerebral player, aside from all the talent. Quite a DB class. He, Ty Law, and my old teammate Champ Bailey.
Whole secondary with Johnny Robinson as well.
Awesome.
You fill out a whole Hall of Fame secondary this year.
Absolutely. Well, as you can see, I was out here training and getting ready because they told me they was going to sign me to a contract. So I was just letting them know I was in shape. But I'm working out here on this wood. Explain to us what is this? Like, do they train on this?
What course?
Yeah, it's the old patch. It's like it's an obstacle course for adults. And, it's really good tool that we've used. I actually, from my training down in San Diego, we all Junior Seau, the group, we used to have a huge group down there. We kind of came across some equestrian jumps down in San Diego, and the guy we were working with would say, "Go under that, go over that, bear crawl this." And so we instituted it here, and it's really a great tool for our guys. They enjoy it, and anything to make you better. You're always looking for a competitive advantage, and that's one thing we've brought to the table here.
Well, speaking of competitive advantage in DBs, I was watching the competition out of one-on-ones yesterday. Richard Sherman out here and made a play on a ball that probably should have been an interception. I think you asked him about it, or Kyle asked him about it. Like, why didn't you pick that off? Which, it's kind of joking around, but I mean, you guys were last in turnovers last year. Those are the kind of plays that you need to make this year, right?
Absolutely. that's not good enough, and we want to be setting records for productivity, not for
almost.
Not for almost. And Sherm, actually on there's a stat that's reality over the years, 20 plus balls down the field. He's got like the highest rate of interceptions ever at the cornerback position, and so he's a guy that's been fun to watch, because last year we were hoping to see that guy that we all knew in Seattle, and we got glimpses of it. But this year he's come back, and it's looking like the Richard Sherman from that Legion of Boom, and that's a welcome sight. I think more than anything in my career, turnovers happen when you're hitting the quarterback, and I really believe we're going to be able to do that. That speeds up the clock of those quarterback, makes them throw a tick early. As a defensive back, you can take some chances. So that's the thought process. Now we got to go do it.
Yeah, that's the key, because Charles Woodson always used to tell me, no matter how good you are, you ain't covering for 6-7 seconds. The pass rush has to get there. How excited is this secondary to know that this season the pass rush is going to get there?
Yeah, I always tell people, when I was playing with Warren Sapp and Simeon Rice, that whole group, 3 Mississippi, that's pretty easy for a defensive back. I got to Denver, and there was some 5 and 6 Mississippi. That's a lot tougher. You're holding on. And so I think there's a direct correlation, and hopefully we see that come to fruition.
Well, you've got a pretty interesting coaching staff here. A lot of the guys had spent some time with Mike Shanahan in Washington. Give me a sense of your confidence level in this group to kind of make that push this year, now in Kyle's 3rd season.
Yeah, we have high expectations, but thing I like, you saw it yesterday. These guys are going about their work. Highly competitive practices. Not as much talk as last year. Last year there was a lot of talk from the outside, and I don't think we bought into the noise. This year we're getting to fly under the radar, and a real workman-like attitude. Guys trying to get better each and every day. Real proud of our team, and they understand the expectations coming from within. Those are strong, and all you can do is focus on how you work, getting better each day, and I think our group's doing that very well.
John Lynch, general manager of the San Francisco 49ers. Great to have you chat with us here today. Excited to watch your guys today.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Always great being with you guys. Thank you.